It's the morning heat on the new Hot 93.3. We were lucky enough to get in touch with one of North Texas's greatest leaders, Mark Cuban, and he's getting ready to answer all of our questions about the stimulus package.
I know a lot of us have some questions here in North Texas. So, Mark, what up, man? Thanks for joining us. How's it going?
Good. Surviving it all. How y'all doing?
Same, man.
Trying to get by.
Amen to that.
Okay, so we're just going to get right to it because I know you have a lot going on. We've seen you step up in a major way through this whole pandemic. You're still paying your employees, even though business is pretty much shut down. How long can and will you sustain this? And are you nervous at all about the future of the economy and the uncertainty of the economy?
I'm rich. I'll sustain it as long as I can. You know?
Yes.
I mean, it's not going to change my life, but it'll change theirs. So it's just the right thing to do.
What are some of the resources for small businesses or even big businesses that don't have leaders like you? What should employees do?
So let's start with the small employers, right?
Okay,
so
yeah.
If you run a company, if you own a company, and you have under 500 employees, they passed a law saying that any company with under 500 employees, the government will loan you money to pay up to 3 months worth of payroll. And if you commit not to fire anybody over that 3 months, you don't have to pay it back. So that's amazing, right? And so rather than going to the smallbusinessadministration.gov site, go to your bank. Now, your bank won't have all the details yet because they haven't released all the fine print yet, but you want to talk to them and get in line with them so that when it hits, you'll be able to get access to the capital.
Okay, but what if you have one of those businesses that are shut down completely that can't continue to function during this time?
Even so, right? If you go to the bank and you say, look, here's my payroll for the last 3 months when things were normal, will you lend me the money to cover that payroll, plus some for rent, plus some for utilities, so that I can at least keep on paying my rent, and even though I'm not open, I'm still alive? And they'll say yes. And as long as you keep those 5 people on payroll, you don't have to pay them back.
Is 3 months going to be long enough? What do you think?
I don't know. That's the problem with all this. Everybody's guessing.
Right.
You were so publicly on Twitter pushing for both parties to get a deal done. And I remember you saying, which I thought was, so well said, is looking for a perfect deal is what's going to hinder progress.
Yep.
And so are you happy with the deal that got put in place now with the stimulus package?
It doesn't matter. It is what it is, right? What I care about now is how quickly can they execute on it. If you really need that $1,200, I want my money and I need it now, right? Go to your bank. And if you already have a checking account that you're doing direct deposit and you've been fortunate enough to get an IRS tax refund that's direct deposited, you may be eligible to work with that bank to get overdraft protection or an advance.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
So in 2008, the stimulus package, TARP, that was passed then was heavily criticized. Do you think that we'll look back at this one and feel the same way we did with the one in 2008? What do you think?
I don't think it's similar because back then we were bailing out banks, and those banks put themselves in their own, situation. With this thing, it's a virus that impacts everybody, at the top and at the bottom. And so is it enough? We don't know, right? We don't know how long it's going to be. Hopefully there'll be more money after the $1,200 if it's needed. If you do get fired and you need public assistance, they're jacking up the amount there too. So I think between public assistance or keeping your job plus the $1,200, it should be enough. Now the question becomes, are there any executives or any people running big companies that are taking advantage of this? And I was loud and clear. I talked to a lot of people in the White House and around the White House and all the different departments that, you can't let this be a moneymaker for executives at the top of the biggest companies. That if you loan them money, you got to get something for the taxpayers, whether it's stock, options, whatever it may be, because, we're paying for it, taxpayers are paying for it, and they deserve to make money off it too. You can't just leave it for executives to get new stock options, et cetera, and get paid more for being in this position. So I think they're going to do it the right way, but time will tell.
Do you know if there's a stipulation in the bill where big businesses aren't allowed to buy back their own stock?
Yes, there is.
Okay.
Yeah, but the problem is I wanted it forever. You can't, if you take this money, you can't buy back stock at all, ever.
Oh.
So what they said was you can't buy it back until you pay back the loan plus a year. So who knows how long, But again, like I said, you can't get a perfect deal. You got to take what you can get.
Is there any blowback we can expect? Like if you take the $1,200, is it going to be taxable at the end of the year? Is it going to, do we have to claim it as our tax return? Okay.
No, it's going to be tax-free. So it's not like, I just took this money, now I got to write a check.
Yeah.
I needed that money in the first place, right? No, They're not that dumb. The government can be dumb, but not that dumb.
What if you owe the IRS money? What happens?
You still owe the IRS money.
But you can still get your check.
Get your check.
Oh, but you still get your check. Yeah,
Okay.
they're not gonna credit against what you owe them.
Not that Karina owes the IRS money or anything.
Okay, Mark, last thing. Separately, you expressed disdain toward 3M because of the way that they're handling their business by selling their masks to distributors who are hiking up the prices and taking advantage of the situation. Have you been in touch with the CEO? Have you had any conversations with him?
I've talked to 3Ms, but he won't return my emails. But I've talked to some of their PR people, and they're just doing PR things. Look, I'll give credit where credit is due. 3M is jacking up the number of masks that they're making here in the United States, and that's a good thing, right? But they've ghosted the American people at a time when you've got to be transparent. And so you've got all these healthcare workers that are going to work, and we're hearing the stories about no masks and other PPE equipment, and you're not hearing a word from 3M other than saying, hey, we're making as many as we can. That's not it, right? They know there's somebody at 3M that knows the mass market better than anybody. They know who makes them. They know who buys them. They know exactly what's going on. And they should be out there saying, you know what, let's work on this together. We're going to put together a program where we work with other manufacturers, and we're going to take our production and we're going to match it with the hospitals and the providers who need it the most. And when you're past the apex, we'll move some to the other places. We'll work with the government to do it. We'll work with the hospitals. It doesn't matter. We'll figure it out.
Mark, you said that you were optimistic of the NBA coming back in mid-May. We all can use a distraction. We can always use sports. Do you still see that as a possibility?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just guessing, right? I don't know anything anybody else does, but yeah, I see it as a possibility, but I'm not making a prediction, right? You know, I hope so, but I know that safety is going to come first, that we're not going to do anything that puts our players in jeopardy, puts the staff, puts fans, puts anybody in jeopardy. You know, we're going to listen to the experts first. But you're right, Brett. I mean, we need sports, and we need them bad. You know, we need something to cheer for. We need something to root for. You know, they postponed the Olympics. Could you imagine that day if, you know, the American team upset somebody else like the Chinese team? This whole country would go nuts.
Right.
And, you know, hopefully we'll get that with the Mavs and the NBA.
Will they jump back in straight into the regular season, or will they go straight to the playoffs, Mark?
Don't know. I guess it depends on when.
Yeah.
And honestly, I haven't even had a conversation with the NBA about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I just read the same stuff you do. I'm not on those committees. I'm on different committees. That I got the boring stuff this year.
All right, man, for sure. We appreciate
Thank you so much.
Hey, guys, let me just say this. You know what? We will come out on the other side. The one thing about this country that's unlike any other country in the world, you know, we're innovative. I believe in American exceptionalism. We're entrepreneurs. The American dream, you know, people strive for it. And so out of this mess, out of this FUBAR, there are going to be 5, 10, 20 companies created in this country that just change the game, that just make this world better. And I encourage anybody, if you have a dream, if you have an idea, why not you? Why can't you be the person that says, this is the vision I have for the other side. This is the way it should be. Let's get this done, you know, and I think that's going to change the world.
Thanks, Mark. Well said, man.
Gave me
Hell
goosebumps.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Thank you, Mark.
We appreciate you.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.